I'm going to record this. So welcome everybody to the 4th week skill training. Vanessa, I'm just going to mute your car. Is that all right? Because I keep hearing a motorbike go past.
Oh, yeah.
So it's muted now. Well done for everyone last week, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. I have a confession that I haven't done my responsibility because I haven't been able to get to a class, but I will be doing it this week. Okay, so I will be feeling the feel and do it anyway. But there's lots of you that haven't. You've been sharing your stories with us. So these are the 3 winners, the challenge winners. Now there were loads of you, and it's very hard to pick, but we've chose a few that we thought were really big things for those individuals. So some of those things, obviously, they're not going to be your thing. They would be easy, but for these individuals, it was a big deal, and they've expressed that to us, and we could feel it from them that those things were a big deal. So we would just like to mention the 3 winners for feeling the fear and doing it anyway last week were Claire Durbin. Claire, are you on?
I don't think she is actually. No.
Okay, well, I'll get you to share her fear for her. That's all right, Michelle. And then
now.
I'll just announce them all, then I'll get you to it. And then Sam Farmer, and Sam is on. And then Debbie Needham. Debbie, you on?
Hi. Yeah, I'm just having some breakfast, but I'm here.
Okay, Debbie. And if it's okay if you, haven't asked you this yet, but would you mind sharing why that was such a big fear for you? And in a minute, would that be okay?
Yeah, in a minute or now?
Well, you go now, Debbie. So, Debbie, I'll just quickly explain it for you, Debbie. So, Debbie, a big deal for Debbie is Debbie has MS.
ME.
Sorry, ME. Sorry. Debbie has ME, and she struggles to go out in most places, right, Debbie?
Yeah, basically, I haven't been away from my house for, oh God, it must be like 3 years now, like overnight. I haven't been away. So to actually sort of get away and leave it's sort of built up, and it's become quite a phobia now. But I really want to come to convention, like I really want to come to Northampton, and I really want to meet you all. So I've sort of been slowly plugging away at it and getting everything into place so that hopefully I'll be able to come. So a little bit nervous. Oh yeah.
Well done, Debbie. So Debbie's booked her tickets for Northampton, which was a big deal in itself, and she's also booked her ticket for next year's convention. So well done, Debbie.
Thank you.
If you would email me which book you would like, and we'll get that sent to you.
Right, thank you very much.
Go on, Michelle. Could you explain Claire Durbin's fear for us?
Yeah, so I nominated Claire. She doesn't even know this, but Claire is nothing like me. She's a very soft, gentle person, and yeah, it's not her thing to be out there and just talking to strangers. But she's very passionate about the oils, and she talks about them very beautifully. She went to the I asked her if she wanted to go to the Bristol Vegan Festival last weekend, and she did. She planned to take a day off work on the Monday so that she could recover, because she knew it would take a lot out of her emotionally, because she's not like really intense, like wanting to talk to lots of people all the time. But she did it, and she, learned a lot from it, and gained, a good amount of contacts, and yeah, I personally was like really proud of her. That sounds patronising to say, but it was. I thought it was a great thing that she did, and definitely overcame a fear. So
yeah, and I might add that there are lots of you that actually have fears of, Daniel Plantin came and did the show on Sunday, and I'm not going to class it as a fear for you, Daniel. I wouldn't say it was a fear, but he definitely didn't want to go. So he made it, and he had a great day. Within 10 minutes, he'd sold a Home Essential kit, so he's natural.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. So then he had a good day, and he was excellent at it, and he's got at least contact. Brilliant. So well done, Daniel. Fortunately, he doesn't win because he didn't email me. But we've got Sam Actually, no, he did. He put it on the Facebook group. Actually, that's true. That's true. Maybe we'll get him an extra prize. Sam Farmer, would you like to just explain your fear? You explained it to me the other day, and then you went and did it, and I thought, well done, Sam.
Yeah, I did it just in the nick of time, because I felt I couldn't let myself down or anybody else. So, yes, my sister-in-law is absolutely lovely, but just sort of about 18 months ago, her daughter, who just turned 17, was diagnosed with cancer, quite a rare form and quite a vicious form. And I'm a nutritional therapist, and that's one of the things I'm fairly interested in. And my mother was also going through it at the time, and my sister has become quite well educated in it. But when it's so close to you, you don't necessarily want people to give advice. And there was quite a bit of that coming from the family. No, not from me, because I've learned you don't do that. But she battened down the hatches and really didn't speak to us for quite some time. So my concern about approaching her about the essential oils was about being alienated, that she might think I'm interfering, and that might be something she didn't want. But anyway, because I think she'd be good at this, I think she'd be great, and she's so much fun, you'd love her. But I phoned her yesterday and told her why I was calling. I said, I want to speak to you about this. I think you'll be really great at this, because she's so outward going, so friendly, and so gentle. She's lovely. And she's going to talk to me about it properly when she comes at the weekend. So I was still anxious about it, but I've taken that first step. So hopefully it will all go well. But so far she said yes, she's interested. So I'm going to go from here.
Sam, that's amazing. So your fear was rejection, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Massive fear of that, especially with your sister-in-law. And that, with close family and friends, that's the hardest thing. You don't want to be rejected by them, the most.
Yeah.
You can be rejected, but you can be rejected by a stranger quite happily. Most by like your close friends and family. Yeah. That's very hard to take. So well done, Sam. That's a big deal.
Thank
you. Claire, Sam, and Debbie, if you can message me, and just tell me what book you want out of the 3 books, or if there was a different book you would like a personal development book, then we will send that to you in the post. So well done. We just like to now we've got going too far ahead there. You saw that. I'd like to turn the time over to Emily and Sarah, who are going to be teaching us the skill training on how to get people to classes. So I'll stop sharing if you want to share your screen, Ems.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. All right. Shall I kick off, Emily, or did you want to?
Let's go. You go for it, Sarah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So, hi everybody. This is going to be a skills training on how to get people to classes. So, the 2 sort of main bits we're going to cover is what's so important about getting people to classes in the first place, and how can we actually ensure that the people that have shown interest in coming actually do definitely attend on the day.
Okay.
So why do we need to get people to classes? So to a certain extent, it is a numbers game. So, we want to be sampling a lot. I think we've said in previous weeks, so around 20 samples is going to generate enough interest to get around 8 people to the class, hopefully. So we do need to be sampling loads to create enough interest to get, the people to the classes sort of at the beginning.
Can I add in? Sorry. Because I just wanted to quickly add in that the problem that we're finding sometimes is we all have these great intentions and plan all these classes out, and it's great, but then we're not filling them. So actually then that's almost a bit of a waste of time. So, you want to kind of be realistic and maybe, have less classes, but make sure that you're filling them rather than planning like 6, 7 classes, 8 classes. and like getting 1 or 2 at each class. And so it really is an important part, rather than having to kind of cancel classes because you're not advertising them properly. Sorry.
No, I agree with you there. So yeah, so I've said sampling and inviting is only half of the story. So we've done all this work to sample people and invite them to classes, but we need to make sure obviously that they definitely come. So yeah, we've put a lot of effort into getting them to this point. You know, we've started to create that personal relationship with people. We've told them about what we're doing. We've offered them samples. We've worked with them to try and get the right sample to them to get a positive oil experience. And, you know, we want to make sure we need to put in that last bit of effort to make sure that they turn up on the day. And I've put there that, you know, the reason that we want to get a full class is that, you know, we can, in doing that, we're maximising the number of people that we're helping through sharing the oils. So that's how we're helping them, but we're also obviously getting you know, more enrolments for us. So in this sense, I've put that this also kind of links into the key money-making activities that we've spoken about in the past.
Yeah. Okay, so I added in here that one of the most important parts of this, and this is something that I spoke about on Thursday at convention, was our investment in relationships. And our doTERRA businesses are full of many relationships, but obviously the relationship that you have with your customer from the beginning is what makes it special. And what we're doing is, you know, customers are not just buying something off a shelf. From the very beginning, we are forming a relationship with them. And that is what, you know, turns into that long-term relationship and develops that long-term trust. So things like, even though it's easier, sending out a blanket text or a blanket email or a Facebook invite, it doesn't have that personal touch, and therefore it doesn't tend to develop into that much always. We find that people definitely respond much better to a personal text or a phone call or a personal message that they know is kind of for them. They're more likely to get back to it and respond. And it's just starting that relationship from the beginning.
Thanks, Emily. So yeah, I've just put a bit in here about following up after sampling, but before inviting to a class. So what I mean by that is, rather than sometimes I've noticed, you know, with people when they're first starting out, particularly, that sometimes it's tempting to kind of, you've identified what sample you want to give somebody, and then, you know, you might immediately then invite them to a class, but actually you don't want to forget that the crucial bit is kind of following up, asking them if they've had chance to use the sample, and if they have, you know, did it help? And then obviously work on ensuring that they have had a positive oil experience, ideally. So whether checking in with them to see how they use the oil in the right way or often enough. And you can advise them around that. And if necessary, you might need to sample them again. And ideally, once they've had a positive experience, then that's the best time I would say, to invite them to a class. Sometimes some people in my team have sort of experienced, again, sort of in the early days, finding it a little bit tricky or uncomfortable about following up with people. And again, here, I think it's about trying to just focus on, you know, we're not trying to sell somebody a kit at this stage. We're just trying to help them have a good oil experience, introduce them to the oils. So if you are finding it difficult, just focus on, you know, the customer and what we're trying to do for them. And that is, we're trying to, you know, help them with an ailment and introduce them to these beautiful oils.
Yes. It's like what Verity spoke about last week. You know, we're feeling nervous about talking to people. We're making it too much about ourselves. And, you know, we know that what we're part of is so incredible. And, you know, what can happen with that one touch can develop into helping and healing so many more people. And a small ripple in the ocean starts the tsunami, you know. So we need to, you know, try and remember not to focus so much on ourselves, but think about what we're doing and what we're how many people we could potentially be helping with that one drop. And remember, you know, all of those people in all over the world in those developing countries are benefiting as well as the people that are actually using the oils.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then, you know, some language that I've started to use that feels really kind of gentle and quite natural is, you know, you just ask them if they'd like to come and learn more at a class. That's quite a nice way that feels quite comfortable to me to sort of ask somebody if they'd like to attend, but also, you know, find words that work for you. And it's quite good to offer people, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 dates that are coming up. I don't like to go too far into the future because I quite want, you know, ideally someone to come, you know, quite quickly, but also it's nice to give people a couple of options in case they can't come to, you know, the next one that you're doing. And then the last 2 points on here are around arranging payment. Now, I know that some people choose not to charge for webinars specifically. I like to charge for webinars as well as live classes, just because I think there's an exchange then, and you know, the people that are paying for webinars, they're still getting a few oils. I'll send them their wild orange and peppermint oils and a couple of others that, you know, they're interested in for their ailment. And I just really think that, you know, explaining to people that, you know, the cost of the class, the live class, for example, I normally charge £10, and I explain that they get, you know, the wild orange oil on the day. I think these 2 things together, the fact that they paid and also the fact that they're coming to the class and they're going to get an oil when they attend, really does help. You know, sometimes people might really intend to come when they verbally tell you, I'm going to be there. But if something else happens to come up, and if they get a better offer or something's going on at home, it's quite easy for someone just to kind of go, okay, no, I'm going to go. I think if they have paid that little bit of money and they know that they're going to do something nice when they come, there's definitely more chance of them
Yes, and also, I just add in there as well, you're giving an awful lot of amazing knowledge as well. So,
yeah. I mean, I frequently have people sort of saying, you know, that they pay the £10 and they don't feel it's enough. You know, they've come to this class and they've had some lovely snacks and they've had all this information and they've been smelling the oils and they're taking a wild orange home with them. And you know, most people are more than happy to you know, pay something for that.
yes.
So other ways to get people to classes. So these are just some of the things that I do, and Emily, I'm sure you've got some others, but I'll go back through, you know, that whatever way you keep a note of who you sample and what samples. And if I've got a class coming up, you know, I'll go back through that list and, you know, I'll personal message people ideally or give them a call and sort of tell them, just tell them that I'm teaching a class on Saturday and would they like to come? You know, these are the people that I've already sampled. I know that they've had a good oil experience, or maybe they've expressed an interest in coming, they just haven't managed to yet. I'll also, for me personally, I also do a lot of my invites on Facebook. So what I will also do is I'll just go back, you can kind of look up past Facebook invites on Facebook, and I will look at, you know, you can click on see who said yes and who said maybe, and I'll just quickly write down a list of people that maybe they said yes but they actually ended up not coming, or they were maybes that, you know, again, people that are kind of letting me know that they're interested but haven't yet made it, and again I'll send them a personal message. And Kyla, a new builder under me, I'm really enjoying working with her at the moment because she's very keen on teaching some other classes around. So what we're doing, we're still doing classes around the Family Essentials kit or the Home Essentials kit. So it's not, we're not having to create new materials or anything like that. But when we're just talking about the uses of the oils, we're focusing, depending on, you know, what we've advertised the classes being, whether it's a pregnancy and birth class or a yoga class. And we're just kind of focusing the uses of each of the 10 oils around a different subject, and actually kind of, I suppose, marketing, you know, it's still an intro class, but it's a pregnancy intro class or it's a yoga intro class. And what I found is that people in my warm market even, you know, that didn't come forward for the, you know, the Nature's Medicine Cabinet class are coming forward, you know, for these classes. And essentially I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm just slightly talking about different uses for the oils. So I put that in there just because I think, you know, it is a way that is working for me to kind of, I suppose, work my warm market a little bit more and get people's interest that, you know, hadn't already come forward. Another way of getting people to classes is just including the class dates in your monthly newsletter if you do one. I definitely encourage that because, again, I think, you know, if you think about the customers, you know, your customer base, the people that you've sampled, the people that, you know, all the people that you have on there, they'll all be, you know, they're all likely to be interested in receiving information from you in different forms. So I think the more different ways that we can tell people about classes, then again, we've got a bigger chance of kind of catching more people. And then did you put this one in, Emily? I think, yeah.
Yeah, so I added in that you can do a Facebook event post and advertise your class on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media you're on. We wouldn't just advise doing this because it doesn't tend to generate a great response if you just do it. But it's quite a good thing to invite the people then onto that you have spoken to or have invited, so they've got somewhere to go to look at the details. But having said that, there are some of us who have had great responses from doing Facebook posts and from boosting them and paying money. And so I invited Debbie to speak today. Debbie Needham is sharing the love up in Wales, and she's having a great response with doing Facebook posts. So Debbie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Her video's not working today, but would you mind sharing some of your tips with us, because you're doing really well with it?
Yeah, well, basically, I was trying to find a different way, you know, because I don't have a very large warm market, as you know, here. So I was trying to sort of get out to further people. So I've been in what's the word? Testing sort of different ways of doing it. So you can, when you do create an event or a post on a business page, it does say boost. I tried Facebook Boost and it wasn't very successful at all. So I wouldn't recommend that. What you do is you basically, it's called Facebook Promote. You can go onto the business page, into Adverts Manager, and you can create an advert there. You can basically target that advert, so you can target it to your market, so the people you're wanting to actually get access to. So I sort of like look at the moment, I have done it both for men and women. Sorry, Nathan, but I've now sort of been reducing it to women only, and I've had a much better response. It's also because you pay for every person that looks at it, you see. I pick different things. You can go through and pick people's interests. So things like, well, you know, essential oils, aromatherapy, alternative medicine, naturopathy, things like that. I basically go through so that it is targeted to people that already have those interests. I've tried it for two different ways, for the webinars. And initially for webinars, I do get quite a good response. And I've sent out, I don't know, say 12 samples a class, but then, you know, not as many people turn up for that. I don't charge for webinars. But what I have had great success with is for local events. I've got an event tonight, for example, and it's my second local event, and it's the second one that I've done using the Facebook Promote, the advertising. The first one, I actually had 5 people come and pay. And actually, the thing with them, pay, I charge £5 to cover the room hire, refreshments, and everyone gets a 5 ml wild orange to take away. So, and then this time, I think because I'm now doing it a second time, people are starting to notice. And I've actually got 11 people booked in tonight and paid. And I even had somebody message me yesterday saying they want to book into June because I'm doing it one a month. And these are people I don't know. So.
I think that's so good, Debbie, because, you know, it's hard, isn't it? And some of us think, oh no, I've spoken to all of my warm market, or some people might think, oh, there's not really anyone in my area, or they might even think, you know, there's lots of people doing doTERRA already in my area. And these are all kind of the excuses that we make, isn't it? I do it myself. We all make excuses, and it tends to often be our own blocks. So I just think that's so good, because it just goes to show you can get out there, even if you don't feel that you personally know the contacts. You can still be getting out there, and there are still always people that are going to be interested. So that's just brilliant.
Okay.
Thanks, Debbie. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. Okay, so this next one, collaborate with people in your team or across teams. So this is just another way to kind of attract perhaps different people, either in your warm market or just generally outside of your warm market. So I suppose I was thinking of two things here. I was thinking about joining up with other people to run classes together. So it can be quite an efficient use of everybody's time, because then, you know, everyone is hosting less classes themselves, but kind of joining together to host classes. So you're kind of making the best use of your time, sharing resources and filling classes. So that's something that Emily sort of suggested to me at the beginning, and that does make really good sense. But also with other team members or even across teams, and kind of tapping into different areas of specialism, if you like. So, you know, if you've got, you know, a builder in your team that's a yoga teacher or a massage therapist or a nutritionist, you know, to again kind of tweak class titles and you know, attract different people.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that that's really a good thing to do, is to kind of target maybe somebody that you know might be a nutritionist, or might be a home birthing, you know, teacher, not a hypnobirthing teacher, or somebody who has their own business that they're running, and invite them to collaborate with you. Because then what's going to happen is it benefits them, because your people are going to be listening to them, but also you're going to get their people listening to you. And the other thing that can then happen from that, which is really cool, is when they see or listen to your presentation and see and hear about the oils, they may decide, oh, hang on a minute, I should be incorporating this into my business too. And then they may talk about the business. So that's a really great tip. Webinars are good for that, and live classes, but if you're not local to the person, you can totally do it that way. So that's our presentation, isn't it? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Sarah created most of this last night. We got back from convention, so thank you for doing that. Love you. So everybody, the challenge then for the rest of the week is getting people to your classes. So we're going to see who can get the most people to their classes, and there's two separate challenges.
Can you unshare your screen, Ems, and I'll put up the challenge?
Okay.
Wonderful.
Hi, Bex.
Hey, hey, Ziggy. Hey, everyone.
Okay, so yeah, the weekly challenge is to get the most online.
Sorry, Emily, can I just say to people, because we can't actually hear you right now. There's a lot of background noise from a couple of screens.
I'm going to mute everybody. Let's mute everybody.
So unmute yourself, Ems.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I couldn't seem to do that when I was presenting. So yeah, so the weekly challenge for week 4 is who can get the most people to classes live and online. Okay, so there's two separate challenges, and the prize is 1,000 business cards. And so there's two prizes, obviously. So So get sharing the oils, get having those personal touches with people, and let's see who can get the most people to a class. So 1,000 business cards for the person who gets the most people to a live class, and 1,000 business cards for the person who gets the most people to an online class. And what you need to do is you'll need to do your own design for your business card and send it to and send the invoice to Nathan, and we'll cover it. That's right, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they can just contact me afterwards, and we'll arrange it. We won't design it, but we will cover the costs.
So that's kind of cool. So I think that brings us to a finish. Is that right? Anything else that we need to add in? We're going to open up to chatting now, aren't we?